Grand Chief, thanks so much for taking some time for us here. What's been your involvement so far in contesting Bill C-5?
Well, we've sent some correspondence to Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, as well. I did attend the C5 forum that was in Ottawa, July 17th, in which when I finally had an opportunity to speak, I relayed my disappointment with the whole engagement, or event, I'll say. Won't even really say engagement, because there was very little engagement, and then I had walked out. And just our own correspondence as well. That's been our involvement to date so far.
I had a chance to speak with the Prime Minister and asked him about the summit. He said it was basically a resounding success. I guess your thoughts on how the government has been moving forward with Bill C-5?
Well, clearly then they didn't really take what I was saying into consideration if they say it was a resounding success. Because I have heard multiple people had stood up at that event with, we'll say, objections to how everything was rolling out. You know, and I wonder if it would have been a success had they mentioned all the funding cuts that they're announcing over the next 3 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, lots of cuts, it seems, coming to Indigenous Services Canada, other programs. We've heard you're proposing tolls that go through your territory in response to federal cuts. What can you tell us about those?
Well, we're going to be probably putting out some requests for proposals very soon. We're just looking at sort of the scope, you know, assessing what type of tolls, maybe assessing the amounts. Obviously, you know, we want to make sure little inconvenience to our community as possible. However, having the major infrastructures come to our territory and potentially even expanding that, you know, does that mean the CP rail? That means the Seaway? Who knows, you know, but right now we'll start with the vehicle traffic, which amounts to about 120,000 vehicles a day, as well as different materials that cross through the territory. Kahnawake is the only place sort of south of Montreal, we'll say, or Tiohtià:ke, that's a hazardous corridor. So different materials are acceptable to pass through our territory, I guess, because of low population density and whatnot. So yeah, those things are still to come. And I mean, all these cuts are a response to that. I mean, we're already severely underfunded as it is as First Nations communities, but then having more cuts, we're already hearing some things from community members from what they've heard in terms of like wills and estates. Those services are being drastically reduced at ISK, so that's going to be a further backlog of those type of files that our community members are going to have to deal with. So these are just some of the things that we're hearing only now of the effects of the toll, the funding cuts. As well, I mean, we do know as well, Jordan's Principle itself is on hold as well because of Canada's improper usage, we'll say, of it, or approval methods that they were doing with it. So again, First Nations people have to suffer because Canada dropped the ball on it. So.
Just quickly here, Grand Chief, like you say, you're still finding out about some of these cuts, but what do you think the impact will be on First Nations in Quebec?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, in Quebec itself, it's very difficult as well, with Quebec pushing a lot of their language laws that are impacting First Nations communities. Kahnawake is predominantly English-speaking, we'll say, as well as our own language, Kahnawake. So having French language is imposed on us even further is going to further problems. And I just go back to Indigenous Services Canada halting Jordan's Principle. A lot of our students were relying on those funds for tutoring. As well, it's very difficult for students to find English schools that maybe help or are better suited to deal with their learning disabilities. So definitely on all these fronts, all these funding things getting cut. And I have no other choice but to link it to our opposition to C5. Is this a way just to force us into submission on this bill? Because they're going to be leaving us no choice but cutting all the funding and then having to accept projects that go through our territories and all that, because that's the only way we're going to be able to get funding to sustain all these different challenges.
Yep, interesting point there, Grand Chief. Unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there, but do appreciate you taking some time for us.
Okay, no, thank you for having me.